it's wide. It just gives you a great stance, a great presence on the road. It's a standout basically. Hi, I'm Theo. This is my RWB 911. My dad worked in the car industry. He worked at Tanjong. I had a lot of experience with cars, so he introduced me to cars and all these automotive things. So from there, I kind of got the bug, the same way how a lot of people get into cars. They have their posters in their room. You start to drive, and then you start to enjoy the drives, and then you start to look at other people's cars. My first car was actually a family car. I started playing audio with the cars because, you know, during those days, you just try to buy small things because you don't have that much money. From there, progressed to trying to make the car perform a little bit better, maybe look a bit better. And then once I was in uni, you had to have your own car. So I got a very basic Honda Civic. So the Honda Civic was my go-to car. So I started playing around a little bit with it. And then progressed on to different cars after that, start playing around with performance. But I've always had a love for cars. I had a Nissan S15. That was a pretty nice car. So I've always liked classic cars. So it's one of those things where when you have a love for cars at an early age, you see those cars in that era, but you cannot afford those cars. So as you grow older, you tend to aspire or have nostalgic feelings for these cars, and all of a sudden, you know, you have your own income, you're able to aspire to get these cars. So started to look around for classic cars, and I got a Mark II Golf GTI, which was pretty nice. After that, family, children, then I had to let go of that car and got a Subaru Forester wagon. And then after that, my kids were big enough, decided to look at 911s. At that time, 911s were not crazy prices, so we decided to look for a 911. And a 911 came up, which is this car, a C2 Cabrio, originally manual. So that really ticked all the right boxes, and the price was pretty good. So decided that was the time to get it. I've always been a modding kind of guy, so we're looking at how to make it look nicer than what it is right now. You know, you just want that little extra. So we started looking around, you know, the usual suspects like Singer, you know, that kind of thing, but Singer is like just crazy prices. So RWB came up. I've always known RWB since my S15 days. Yeah, I've seen the S15 that Nakai-san did before, and also his 911 Stella. Those were the iconic cars at that era. Yeah, so RWB looks like a good choice, so we decided to explore it. Got in touch with Nakai-san, got things rolling, planned the build, decided on what to set up the car as, how to develop it, how to make it different from the rest, maybe have our own little touches, choosing color, wheels, and all the specs. After looking around, we found out there were a couple of cars that were built here in Malaysia as well. That didn't matter actually. The main thing is we build one ourselves and build it to our own spec. Basically, when you decide that you want to do an RWB car, first of all, choose the car that you want. Which 911 do you want? So basically, the air-cooled, you need to find the car that you want to build. So basically, the 964, the 993s, or if you're brave enough, the 911 SCs, the G-bodies. You get in touch basically with the person that already built the car previously in your area. If there isn't any, you go direct to RWB itself. They can be contacted quite easily if I'm not wrong. Find out what you need to do, how much the cost of the kit, timeline, what needs to be done to the car before the build. To build a car, it varies. It depends on Nakai-san's schedule. It depends on your car, whether you've prepared it ready for the car to be built. The preparation of the car, like basically, if you're prepared, then you just wait for the date that Nakai-san gives you. This is a Riviera Blue PTS Porsche color. The reason we chose it, it stands out. It stands out. It's a quite striking color, but not too striking. It doesn't, not too gaudy. It's just nice, and it suited the cabrio look. The wheels, we had various options, of course, work wheels. We chose this one because I think that suited this car the most. This wheel is the work M1s. So the story of the name, how it came up is we were having a late dinner, the last day of the build. He sat down, chilled a bit, he thought about it, and then finally, before he left, he messaged me. He said, "Your car, I will name this name, Miyabi." The meaning of this car's name, Heartbreaker. We're a little performance oriented as well. I mean, the car looks aggressive, so we wanted to back it up with a little bit of performance. Although the engine is pretty much stock, but it's been refreshed, so it's running pretty sweet. Interior wise, buckets, we were thinking about buckets, so the natural fit would be the Cobra seats. And we had it custom stitched to make it a bit more bespoke, so to speak. And the shifter, come on, that shifter, you just have to get it, you know what I mean? It looks so good. So we got that, and it's also a performance add-on actually, because it's a short shifter, but it looks damn good. In the early days, I was told that he puts a lot of input into the kit, but I believe that is because people didn't know how to go about it, and so he puts his input into how the car is supposed to be built. But for our car, we generally decided on the kit, how wide it's going to be, which model wing we're going to use, and that's about it pretty much. We had our own input. Nakai-san didn't, he just agreed. He said everything's okay. If we want it that way, that's the way you go. Sometimes he puts his little touches on the car that is distinct from other people's cars, other RWBs that he's built before. So slight variations. Sometimes he might do cutouts, design cutouts in a bumper or not really the fender, but usually the back bumper he will do cutouts, or the wing. He will do some cutouts, make it look a bit distinct or suitable for the current owner that he's building for. There are purists out there, but my opinion is Porsche's true history is about performance, is about racing. So when you do racing, there is some amount of development, modifications, which filters down to general 911 owners. They will want to upgrade their car. These things is the same when you want to mod your car, whether be it body kit or engine performance, it's still modding. So there are a lot of 911 owners out there doing the same thing differently. So I don't believe it should be a purist kind of thing. There will be purists out there. You want to keep the car as is from factory. That is your car. You do how you want it. There is room for everybody, basically. So basically, once you have built an RWB, you will generally be invited into a group chat with all RWB owners. So that in itself is a great network. You meet people from all over the world. So generally, if you travel anywhere in the world, you can get in touch with any of the RWB owners, and they're all very friendly. They're all sharing the same passion, same love for RWB. Why 911? A 911 is just iconic. You look at it, it's instantly recognizable with its headlights, with its bulbous backside, and then plus with RWB, it just accentuates everything. It makes it even bigger than life. So yeah, 911, easy choice. My name is Teo, and that's my 911 story.